Hey guys, it's Elias here with Ultralight Hunters, and today we're going over my ultralight hunting rifle. The rifle you see in front of you is the Kimber Hunter Pro, topped with the Vortex Razor LHT 3-15. There's a few reasons why I selected this rifle and scope combination. First, I wanted a rifle that was extremely lightweight and versatile. I want to be a one rifle hunter, and for me, this rifle and scope combination check all those boxes, and I'll get into that why in the caliber selection and why I chose this scope. Going into the rifle itself, the rifle is extremely lightweight. Coming in at 5 pounds 7 ounces, the Kimber Hunter Pro is one of the lightest factory options available to you, and it's also extremely reasonable when it comes to price. The rifle itself comes in at around $1,000 at the time of filming this video, and you're getting a lot of rifle for that money. So on top of being a very lightweight rifle, you get the Mauser Kimber 84M style action that has a 3-position safety, easily removable bolt, adjustable trigger, 22-inch pencil profile barrel that it comes threaded with a radial muzzle brake that's the same profile as the barrel, and in my opinion looks very good on this rifle. The muzzle brake itself also helps tame the recoil in this rifle. It being a lighter weight rifle, the muzzle brake is important so you're able to spot your own impacts and make this rifle extremely shootable and not beat you up when you're at the range. Going into the scope selection for this rifle, I chose the Vortex Razor LHT 3-15x42 in MRAD, and it's mounted to the scope with Tally Ultralight low rings. So going into the rings first, I chose these rings because I wanted to get the scope as low as possible. That way I have good form factor while I'm at the range shooting, and I'm able to spot my impacts and not strain myself when I'm doing so. If you go with the Tally extra low rings, you're going to run into a few issues. While you do have enough clearance on the front objective bell of the scope, you'll actually run into rubbing when you cycle the bolt on the rear objective. So right now you have maybe 0.5 millimeter of clearance with the low rings, but if you were to go down to the ultra lows, I'm afraid you'd have rubbing on the rear objective bell, and obviously we don't want that. I selected 3-15 for a few reasons. First, it's a very versatile magnification range. 3 power being on the low end is plenty for those close-in woodland shots, and you won't have too much magnification where you can't find animals, and it also allows a lot of light to come in the low light environments. On the top side of 15 power, having the 15 power magnification really does help for those longer range shots. If you need to stretch your legs and take a 400-500 yard shot with this rifle, you never feel like you don't have enough magnification to do so. And I'm generally shooting at those ranges somewhere on the 8 to 10 power, and that gives you a nice wide field of view, lots of light, and it's a lot easier to spot your impacts when you're not dialed in all the way magnification wise. Also has adjustable parallax, and most importantly, an adjustable turret for elevation, so I can quickly dial for my longer range shots. And that's really important to me because when you're shooting long range, it's a lot easier to dial for your long range shots than use your scope holdovers. And for this, the LHT does a great job, and it also has a very nice form factor with this rifle. The turrets are nice and low, it's not a big bulky scope, and it's very lightweight with this rifle itself. This total package you see here comes in at 6 pounds 11.9 ounces, which is extremely lightweight. Now, one of the chief complaints or worries I had when selecting an ultralight rifle is being able to spot my own impacts. As someone who hunts solo a lot, being able to spot impacts is important to identify if I made a good hit on an animal. And in this rifle, I can absolutely spot impacts as long as I have decent form when I'm shooting. Going into the caliber selection for this rifle is chambered in .308, and I really did wrestle with this for a long time, especially when it came to recoil and versatility on big game. .308 for me is an extremely versatile caliber. It has a wide range of bullet factory options and bullet weights. You have a lot of factory loads that can do a lot of good things on game animals, whether that's a coos deer or a moose. You always have an option, range dependent, and obviously bullet performance window dependent. But the .308 is one of the best all-around calibers on the market. It also doesn't beat you up at the range. I wanted a rifle that I could shoot a lot and get very proficient with, and the .308 allows me to do that. From a cost perspective of ammo, but also recoil. The recoil on this rifle is very manageable, especially with the brake. You can spot your own impacts all day. I've shot range days of up to 100 rounds and not had any issues. I wasn't fatigued. This rifle is extremely gentle. You can also make this rifle even more gentle with the reduced recoil loads from either Hornady or Barnes. And when you shoot those out of this, it's laughable at how light the recoil is. You're just spotting impacts all day, and it feels very similar to like a .223. And for that, it's really nice. So if you have a new shooter and you're gonna put them behind this and you're trying to get them up to shooting this, or maybe a youth shooter, again, this rifle is just extremely versatile in the fact that I can tame the recoil down for people in order for them to be able to manage the recoil even more. But with normal factory options, you will have no problems with recoil or being able to spot your own impacts. And that was a very big chief concern of mine when I was selecting this at the time. Going into my bullet selection, so what I choose to shoot is the Federal 175 grain terminal ascent loads. These are my go-to option for a number of reasons. First, it's a very versatile bullet in as far as it has great bullet performance. It has a low function window, but it also has it's a tough bullet for deep penetration on game, making it extremely versatile on whatever situation I might find myself in. Also has a high BC, which is nice for windy conditions and being able to make effective hits at long range. With this rifle, with its 22-inch barrel, I'm getting 2,560 feet per second from the muzzle with that factory load. And for me, that's extremely adequate for anything within 500 yards, which is about as far as I will shoot with this rifle. Because it is .308, you can do a lot of changes to this rifle to make it better for different situations. Load I'm curious on testing here. I haven't shot it yet, so I don't know if the rifle likes it, but I am curious, is the Barnes 150 grain TTSX. It's a fairly high BC bullet for a 150 grain .308 bullet, and it also, Barnes loads them pretty hot, and its box posted velocity is 2,900 feet per second with this 150 grain copper bullet. Monolithic bullets are known for being extremely tough and durable with deep penetration. And so I might end up switching to this load just because it gives me a little flatter trajectory and more muzzle velocity and velocity at ranges compared to the 175. Another thing to consider when selecting .308, and this hasn't been released yet, I don't know anything, I'm not connected with anyone at Federal, but with the Plus Peak case technology coming down the pipe, I wouldn't be surprised if within a year or two we see Federal release the 175 grain terminal ascent with a Plus Peak case, and you're going to see that muzzle velocity kick up to the probably 27 to 2,800 feet per second range. You can already select from Black Arc Munitions. They have a high pressure case shooting the 175 grain Barnes LRX bullet, and that's coming out of their 20-inch barrel at 27, 25 feet per second, which is just screaming for a .308. So you do have a lot of versatility in this rifle in the fact that I could choose a light recoiling load from Hornady and make this very kid-friendly, but I also could gas it up with a high pressure round and have no qualms shooting this at any North American big game, and I wouldn't have a qualm doing that with a brass case either. As long as you stay within the performance window of the .308, which is about 500 yards, you will have no issues. Closing thoughts on this rifle. If you're someone looking for a one rifle solution for North American big game, whatever rifle you choose, I would select .308. I would also highly recommend you don't go crazy on your magnification. A magnification range of 3 to 15 is extremely versatile in that situation. And I would try to keep your rifle under 7 pounds, so it's a very versatile rifle when you're up in the mountains. This rifle for me checks all those boxes, and I have just been thrilled using this, and it will be going up with me to Alaska on a blacktail hunt, and it's also going on a mule deer hunt with me this year, so it's going to get a lot of action hopefully, and I'll be able to give you guys more detailed reviews on it as time goes on. If you guys have any questions about this rifle, please reach out in the comments below. If I didn't address it in the video, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. There's not a lot of video reviews on these rifles, so I know it's hard to get information. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out in the comments. I hope you liked this video and enjoyed. Thanks for watching.